Yes, we are back on Rise and Shine, Thursday's edition, and we did mention that we are having two very special guests on our show. Well, he's gone into many hearts around Sri Lanka with his excellent voice for almost 5 decades coming up to now. And well, he's been the first in many when it comes to presenting and comparing where Sri Lanka is concerned. He's also created the opportunity for Sri Lankans to get a career where comparing and presenting is concerned. And joining him today, and he's giving hands to a young musician, a talented musician in Sri Lanka who is trying to relive a legend's music in Sri Lanka. A very good morning to you, Dr. Vijaya Corea and Rukshan.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
It's really a pleasure to have you on board Rise and Shine.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
And well, talking about comparing, talking about presenting, I did mention that you've been the first in many fields. Let's talk us through a little bit about your how you got into this, or how you started off presenting and comparing in Sri Lanka.
Well, it all began with my getting into electronic media way back in 1964, and the only electronic medium at that time was Radio Ceylon, and I joined the commercial service of Radio Ceylon because there was the national service as well.
Right.
And of course the commercial service was the most popular radio station, not only here but throughout India as well. We used to get mail all the way across from India. Having got into radio with the passage of time and my interest in music, I got involved with bringing artists into the studios and giving them an opportunity to express their gifts and talents. And with that, I also moved onto the stage and began to present them and promote them. I did all I can to boost not just their image, but to encourage them in the expression of their talents, which allowed them ultimately to find a career for a lifetime. So that's where that began. But then again, to answer your question more fully, as time moved on from 1964 up in 1976, on the 31st of July to be precise, the BMICH was ready to be opened. For what? For the 5th Non-Aligned Summit Conference. And the opening of that conference, which was to be televised worldwide, was to be a stage show. And at that stage show we had all of the names, some of which are still around, like Victor Ratnayake and Amarudeva and all of them. And I had the privilege of being the compeer for that, the presenter. And I had the opportunity thereby of being labeled Sri Lanka's first television presenter. And the permanent secretary, who was also the chairman of the radio station, gave me a commendation for the manner in which I presented it and said, now you have the privilege of being Sri Lanka's first TV presenter, because it was viewed globally. The strange thing is that hardly anybody had a television set here in Sri Lanka at that time, except one gentleman called John Amaratunga, not the politician, but a personality from Mirigama, who had a house in Gower Street. He was very fond of DXing and radio and all of that, and he had a television set in his home, and everybody gathered around his home to watch all of what was happening here. So that's the only television set that was available here in Sri Lanka.
So you've really been a forefront where Sri Lankan musicians are concerned. They are, as you said, they're introducing them, giving them careers, and it's time to take a look at one of the musicians that Dr. Vijaya Corea has introduced to Sri Lanka.
Thank you very much. I happen to love this song. Out of all the songs that I composed so far, this song I did for Milton Malavarchi back home, and he sang it beautifully. And this has maybe there's always the story behind a song. So there is a kind of story behind the song. So I'm going to sing this to you with only my rhythm guitar. It goes like this. Just follow the words very carefully. තනිවී සිටින්නයි මා අදහස් කළේ ඔබමයි සොයායි විදින් එය වෙනස් කළේ පහදා කිව්වත් නෑ සවන් යොමු කළේ වේදනා පිරීලුවක් ඔබයි බී කළේ මගේ පාළු ලෝකයේ තනි වූ මෙමා සක්විති රජුන් හමුවේ නැත හිස නමා සිතුවිලි මගේ හසුරා ගත හැක නමා මට දුක සිතින්නේ ඔබ ගැන තමා තනි වී සිටින්නයි මා අදහස් කළේ ඔබමයි සොයායි විදින් එය වෙනස් කළේ පහදා කිව්වත් නෑ සවන් යොමු කළේ වේදනා පිරීලුවක් ඔබයි බී කළේ
All right, sir, Dr. Korea, we should talk about this video. When was this declared?
The one you just saw. That was not something that happened here in Sri Lanka. That was when he went across to the USA.
Yeah, Hollywood,
And
1990.
Yes, and there he performed live, and he sat on that stool with his guitar, and as he just told you, he felt like singing the song he actually wrote for Milton Mallavarache, a beautiful song. And in fact, if you look at that whole video, at one point, all of his own, he refers to me also and to the hand I gave to him to initiate his career, which I thought was something very, very beautiful, because so far away with me, nowhere about, for him to remember and to say that speaks volumes for his goodness and character, especially comparatively when there are others, you know, who take it and then leave it, or as the good old Sinhala saying goes, "Dunnama kannam kala duwannam."
All right.